Immediate medical assistance needed.
Hello and welcome to another Division 2 video. Yes, you saw it in the intro. We're gonna talk about skill builds and skills in general in the Division 2 and the experience I got in the playtime, and I played quite a lot already. I leveled up 2 characters, I did some pretty different builds, I tested out with different weapons and stuff, and I did some cool combinations. I released a build video already, and in this one, as I said, I will talk about skills and skill builds in general. So first of all, yes, I have to say they added some really awesome new skills. I like some of them really a lot. They are fun to use, they're different, they are enjoying something different, as I said before, but to make it short right away, skill builds at the moment are pretty crap, useless. Let's say it like it is, to be honest. And there are different reasons. I mean, one topic that was discussed a lot in the past couple days is the mods for the skills. You have to mod them now as well, and the requirements are just too high at the moment. But I have a look on it, so this is clear, and I'm don't gonna spend too much about this issue because they have a look at it. But yeah, this is an issue at the moment, and especially when it comes to PvP. Yeah, for sure, I tried out skill builds as well in PvP, and there is another issue because you have normalized stats. I talk about this a little bit later. First of all, I'm just gonna show you quickly the build I put together for this, and yeah, I had to farm quite a while to get the right gear pieces. To be honest, it's not too easy, and it seems like different brands are more or better to use for a skill build than others because they have primarily skill build variants on them, or attributes, let's say it like this. Like as an example, this one here, the Wyvern set, I don't know how to pronounce it correct. This one here is pretty good because it has high attributes usually. It's pretty funny in my opinion because it's not really mainly a skill build brand in my opinion, but yeah, you get quite a lot of stats into skill power on this gear set here, and this is why I use this brand pretty often on the build. But let's go quickly over the build here right now. So first of all, the weapon, as you can see, it's mainly because of the rooted talent. So while equipped and in cover, all skill damage and healing is increased by 25% for 10 seconds. I mean, it's a pretty insane buff on one hand side, but on the other hand side, it's a main disadvantage at the moment from skills is that really awesome, long, annoying, disgusting long skill. What's the right name? I missed it. When you get your skills back. So the cooldown is really awesome, annoying long on the skills. And that's why yes, it's a really strong talent for sure. And there are other really awesome talents as well, that you get your skills immediately back after a skill kill. If it would work, for sure. If the damage would be high enough, then it would work pretty well. But otherwise, yeah, it's just for the first one, you release a skill. And honestly, I haven't even figured out if this works correctly right now. I can't say it right now. I tested it quite often, but you don't see a sign below your health bar like from other skills here or talents, and this is kind of hard to say from the damage as well, because the damage is anyway so low at the moment from all of the skills. That's really annoying. Second one is not that important, so I don't talk about this that much. Yeah, I think it's anyway, the skill build for sure should be based on explosive damage if you build it for PvE, then explosive damage if you play with Seekers for sure is pretty good. Skill power, cooldown reduction, all the stuff that's yellow on the left side, like you see right now on the skill tree, or like you say, the talent tree, whatever, where you can see how many items you have into health stamina, how many into firearms, and how many into skill related attributes. And I have 10 right now, and this is for sure the most important part. And for sure the most important one is to get as high skill power as possible to unlock the best mods for your skills, for sure. This should be the main focus. And that's why you can see here skill power and cooldown reduction, skill haste as a talent, and the chest piece. I have skill power as well, bonus armor, that I'm not too squishy. You see it already. Armor is pretty high, but health is really low, as you can see. So if the armor is gone, then I'm pretty fucked, let's say it like it is. And destructive explosive damage as well, because I was testing it out for sure in PvP and PvE. both areas or scenarios. Here the same, skill power the main focus, drone skill power, and honestly that's the funny thing, I can show it to you later a little bit, but drone skill power, I don't even know what this does because you don't see anything changing on the skill. That's pretty funny, so I'm not quite sure if this works as intended as well. But yeah, that's the main reason I was trying out drones for sure in PvP, because they're really annoying. I hate them, to be honest. They're so small, especially on console. They're hard to shoot and they deal quite a lot of damage. Then the gloves. I tried to reroll the talent, but it's bugged somehow, so I can't reroll it at the moment, but for sure I would like to get a different one on this one here. And then Alp Summit for sure, it's a pretty awesome set or brand for skill builds. Definitely, because you get cooldown reduction, you get skill power, Hive skill power, and yes, as I said before, I don't know if I said it, but at least in the other video, the Hive is one, if not my favorite skill at the moment, a new one they added. It's really an insane skill in my opinion, but yeah, the most annoying skill as well, because it has almost the longest cooldown, and that's why, yeah, the usability is not that high in my opinion. They should really just lower half the cooldown of the Hive. It would be so much better, this skill, but at the moment with this long skill cooldown, it's just not really useful. And yeah, as I said, I would like to have a different talent on the gloves for sure. If it is damage to elites for PvE, would be pretty good. If it is the order, grenades can now be cooked. This is really an awesome one as well. So it's like the short bow knee pads from Division 1 on the gloves as a talent. Works pretty good. And other stuff as well. So if you play it in PvP with a SMG for sure, then this one here would work pretty well too. And weapon damage against status affected NPCs is a good one as well, which can be unlocked with this build. So for sure there would be so many other better talents than this one here, but yeah, as I said, it's bugged, I can't reroll. The last one, the backpack, bonus armor cooldown, skill power, so nothing surprisingly on the backpack as well. And Providence for sure is a really awesome set for skill related builds as well, because of the 10% skill power you get with one of these gear brand set pieces. And as a talent, 20% explosive damage here as well. And yes, I tried it once out with every single one into explosive damage, and I couldn't even figure out a major increase of the damage from my seeker mines, especially in PvP for sure, unfortunately. And yeah, this is it about the build for sure, for a short overview for you. And as I said before, there are really awesome talents as well. So this one here, kills from cover, reduce kill cooldowns by 20% as an example. Of course, if you can kill someone, this would work pretty well. Skill power would be good as well to increase the stats even more, but yeah, you can't reroll this talent here because you can just reroll it into another one which requires skill related stats. That's the main issue here. That's why I couldn't reroll this stat here. That's the same one, and as I said, they're really quite of good other talents as well, but this is so far the best pieces I got, and to reach the highest amount of skill power. So this is it for the build. Let's go ahead and start with the skills. So pulse, honestly I don't talk too much about the pulse because I think it's not really useful at the moment. It's just a wasted talent. If you want to have pulse, then just use the cluster seeker mines, because then you can find out pretty easy where all the enemies are that are close to you. Much better, you deal damage, you bring them out of cover, so you have much more advantages than using a pulse. EMP for sure in some scenarios works pretty well, but all in all I think it's not a really useful skill at the moment. The turret, yeah, in my opinion is one of the best so far, but this has to do with other skills are not that useful at the moment, and the assault turret I would really recommend. So if you want to try it by yourself, if you want to run a skill build, then I would just go with the turret, assault turret and the cluster seekers. It's just the best decision at the moment in my opinion. Then the flame turret, useless in my opinion. It's just too clunky to use, so you have to place it, and placing the turrets especially on a cover or on a corner, counter, whatever it's called, it's pretty hard because not that easy as in Division 1 anymore, and you have to switch it on out manually and you have to switch it off. It's really short. I know it gets different when you can add all the mods on it, but at the moment it's just not useful. And yeah, if it would target the if it would target the targets automatically, it would be much better. But at the moment, it's not the best one. For PvP, for sure, can be annoying to block away to you. It's not the worst one. And if you have the talent on the gloves with 10% increased damage against status effects enemies, for sure, works pretty well. Sniper turret, useless in my opinion. Then the demolitionist, with this one you get with the demolitionist. So the artillery turret, it's pretty fun to use, to be honest. The damage is just crap. Let's say it like this, you saw it in the intro. It's really not that easy to use, that you hit the target first of all. The area of effect is pretty small, and I modded it already, so you can't get it that much higher at the moment, the damage. And yeah, it's just, yeah, not really good. I tried it out in PvP too. It's fun to use for sure, but it's useless. Let's say like it is. And you see the mods right here. So I have the damage buff from the requirements are pretty low, I know. There are probably bigger ones, but yeah, all in all, it's not really useful. Then the Hive. As I said, Hive is pretty much my most preferred new skill in the Division 2. It's so rich on variety. You get here, you get a healing Hive, so it's like the box you have before, the healing box, an alternative, but it's just not as high. Then the Stinger Hive, it's for me kind of like a new sticky bomb. I mentioned it already before in another video. But yeah, you can throw it not that far away. That's one of the issues. And the second major issue is the really long cooldown. You see already I modded it with cooldown reduction as well. I probably have meanwhile some better ones here too. But yeah, the cooldown is pretty, yeah, one of the worst things. So if you don't have around 20-30 max 30 seconds on this one here, then in my opinion it's useless to use with a skill build, unfortunately. But I like it quite a lot. Then the revive Hive, especially if you play solo, it's an awesome thing. So it revives you automatically. It's like an alt, a little one, except that you're not on full health when you get revived and you don't have a buff, but at least you get revived when you play solo, so it can be pretty good. But you see the cooldown, it's pretty insane as well, and it's modded already, so usually you have 170 seconds without a single mod. Then the last one, the booster, pretty cool, 20% buff running speed, so you can move faster. That's pretty insane. You have more skill haste and weapon handling, so this is pretty awesome, but especially if you run with a group for sure. And yeah, as I said, it's really variety rich, this skill. I like it quite a lot, but unfortunately the mods is an issue and the cooldown is an issue on the Hive in my opinion. Chem Launcher, I'm not quite sure about this one, so the biggest advantage for sure on this here is the cooldown. As you can see, I modded it with damage, and you can see there are really high mods on it, and all of them are unlocked, so the radius and the damage, and I can guess if this works as intended and you can really unlock it everywhere, then this could be a pretty good skill. And yeah, for sure, many of you use already the Reinforcer. It's the best heal you can have at the moment, and mainly because of the short cooldown. And yeah, funny-wise, it doesn't matter how much skill power you put into your build, the cooldown is always the same. And the healing effect, although you don't have that much skill power, although you don't have the right talents on the gear, which increases the healing, it works really awesome, in my opinion. So just put it on and use it 3 times in a row. And you have 3 charges, let's say like this, and it heals you always fully up. Doesn't matter how or why how you use it. So this is definitely a really good one. The last ones, yeah, in PvE I tried them all. They are normal and hard difficulty, not too bad, so the damage is pretty nice, especially the oxidizer, the Chem Launcher here. It's pretty nice, huge damage if they stay in, so you can one-shot pretty much all the red bars. You can damage the purples pretty a lot as well, but as soon as you go further up, then it's useless. So as soon as you play challenge mode or alert level 3 on the checkpoints, then it just gets useless, although the cooldown is pretty insane. The foam, of course, is a funny thing, but it's useless as well in my opinion. And the fire starter, it's pretty good in PvP to block away, so they get burned. But from the damage perspective, it's just too low in my opinion. And then the shield, I haven't tried out all of them, to be honest. I'm not a huge fan of this one here, especially the guys I see running around with the shotgun and the shield. I hate them, to be honest. And yeah, I don't like the shield too much, all in all, so that's why I don't talk too much about this. But you see already the health. I haven't even unlocked this one here, but the health is pretty low. 300 HP, 1000, so you can shoot it down pretty easy. And yeah, you have to mod it, but I don't talk too much about this yet. And then the drone, it's pretty good as well, especially for sure the defender drone can be pretty useful. This one is something I run pretty often in PvP as well. Then the striker drone, this is the most annoying skill in my opinion in PvP because it's so small. The damage is not that bad because it follows you, it shoots you all the time, it moves almost all the time, so it makes it really hard to shoot, as I said, especially on console. Then the bombardier drone, it's in my opinion pretty useless, clunky to use, and the damage is too low at the moment. And the fixer drone, it's pretty good as well. Cooldown, it's pretty short compared to other ones, and it works pretty fine all in all. I haven't tried out the tactician drone, but yeah. And it's anyway specialization based when you have the sharpshooter. So this is it for the drone. Then the seeker mine, this is the one I like the most at the moment because of different reasons. Really short cooldown, then you can bring out the targets. It's kind of like a pulse, especially in PvE, so it's a really awesome skill. Just the damage is too low all in all in my opinion, although you spec everything into this one here, and you can see I spec'd it pretty good, damage and cooldown, but it's still, the damage is just too low. And the major difference compared to Division 1, you don't have bleed effect anymore. This is really a major issue. Then the one here, the airburst, I don't like it too much. You have to target it manually and you have to detonate it manually, so it doesn't follow the target, so you can't click on the target and it goes automatically there. You have to click on a certain area and then it detonates on this area, so it's not that useful in my opinion at the moment. Then the explosive seeker mine, for sure the damage is pretty good, but in PvP I guess for me personally, I know many of you may disagree with me, but for me personally they nerfed it too much. I know in the beta it was almost too strong, but now the damage is just too low. And I mean, if you really spec into a skill build, the damage should be higher. I mean, just have a look at the moment at the sniper builds. You can have a really tanky sniper and you can one-shot pretty much everyone, and this is not the way to go as well in my opinion. So if you spec into something a lot, like in the skill build here, as you see, I'm pretty squishy, really pretty squishy, and that's the main difference between the sniper build. So if you want to play tactician, it's not the best time right now. And the Firefly, I can make it pretty short. I tried all of them out and I think all of them for me personally are useless. So the Firefly blinder, it's kind of like the flashbang sticky, but just not as good to use. The range is not as high and stuff like this. So probably if you have the range mods on it, but I deconstructed all of them honestly because I didn't like the skill at all. It's a funny idea for sure. The cooldown is pretty good as well, but yeah, probably with the right mods I give it a try again, but at the moment I don't like it too much. This is it already about the different skills. Yes, and to sum it up, I think it really needs a rework. I would really like to see a special gear set, and if you have a look on the last stronghold here, click X on console and then you see what all is coming. To us, weekly invasions, I'm looking really forward to this one here because I missed the invaded missions quite a lot. I'm looking forward to heroic difficulty as well for sure. And here you see the gear sets. So I wish really a lot that we get a dedicated tactician gear set. That would be just, yeah, a need. I guess there are many tactician players out there that would like to play tactician build again. But yeah, as I said, to sum it up, the skills need definitely rework. All the mods you can use on the skills as well. They have just too high requirements at the moment because, yeah, I mean, if you spec really everything into skill power, then you should get a higher benefit. You should deal a serious amount of damage both in PvP and PvE, and this is not the case at the moment. Then there are some skills that are just not that comfortable to use. There are some skills that have much too high cooldown, as an example, and all in all, as I said, at the moment, it's not the right time to play a lot with skill builds, unfortunately. But I would like to give you another statement right here. But yeah, that's it like it is at the moment. If you have any other questions, if you would like to see one skill of them in action, just let me know. I gladly show you. I, as I said, tested really pretty much all of them except the shield. I tried just once, twice, 3 times in total, but all the other ones I tested out quite a lot in all different scenarios. And the last thing, yes, the last thing before I forgot to add this one, as I said, if you play PvE, especially in not the occupied dark zone, in the other 2 or in skirmish, then you have normalized set, and what happens when you have normalized sets, the skill power you reach is much lower. As you saw before, 7-8 and now normalized 5-7. So the normalization is a pretty, yeah, not the most clever one in the game at the moment, in my opinion. It's just so, I don't know why you have in a normalized scenario less armor as you have in the real life scenario. Why less kill power? So this means the Chem Launcher, I was really hyped to try it out in PvP, and then I figured out, I know it already before, but I forgot it somehow, and I tried and thought, yeah, cool, 85% more damage, that could work in PvP, let's try it out. And then I realized I have such high requirements, I couldn't reach them anymore in the normalized scenario. So this is another thing that's pretty awful at the moment, to be honest. Yeah, this is it for the video. Thanks a lot for your endurance. I know it's a quite long one as well, but there were some topics I'd like to talk about. And if you want to see other stuff, then it's really appreciated if you leave a comment down below. Otherwise, thanks a lot for your like, for your thumbs up. See you in the next one. Take care and see you in Washington DC. Happy farming. Bye bye. Take care.